Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa barakatuh.
Okay, what we're going to do today, as we know from the previous lesson, we talked about the noun, right? And we talked about the noun being a part of speech of Arabic. We said there are three parts of speech, right? And what are the three parts of speeches are what?
Noun,
Noun
verb,
and harf, right?
harf, yeah.
Right, harf,
Yes.
right. You know,
Yeah.
particle, what we
Yeah.
call it, particle.
Particle.
Okay, we're going to talk a little bit today about pronouns. You know, we also talked about what we call the irab, okay, which mean the endings of the words, how we determine what state, a category they should be in, right? What we talking about, we call them what? Raf,
Raf,
what? Nafs,
Mas, and Gar.
and jar, right? Okay, so and how do we determine that? By what we call the word inflection, about the ending of the words also. We also talked about singular, we talked about singular nouns, we talked about dual nouns, and we talked about what? Plural noun also. Now, but before we get into the main part of what we're going to talk about today is pronoun, I wrote this sentence right up here, okay? I want us to look at this sentence. We want to say it in Arabic, okay? And then we want to see, can we determine what is this particular verse saying in the Quran, okay? And I'll tell you what verse it is, but I want us to try to do it ourselves, and then we'll go to the Quran and look at it ourselves. So what I want to find out, though, I want to find out a noun up here. There might be more than one noun. And we want to look at that noun in its singular form. We want to look at it in its gender. And then what inflection it has, you know, what state it's in, right? So if we look at this sentence up here, look at it. What can we pick out of there?
So we start with Rabbu.
Yes.
So Rabbu is single,
Right.
and it is a noun,
It's a noun. That's right.
okay? And it is in the case of Rafa.
Rabbu. Right. Rabbu. Right. Because that is the name of something, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Ma'am coming now. Okay.
So Al-Mashriqayni.
Right.
Al-Mashriqayni, it is dual.
Dual.
Two.
And why do we know it's dual, brother?
Because it's ended with Y and Nun.
Right. Because of the ending right here. The ya with sukoon and the noon with
Kasra.
kesra. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good. Okay. So we got that. Okay. And then let's
Because,
look at,
because if it is single, it's gonna be only al-mashriq
right.
without the ya and nun, and that's meaning is only one. Al-mashriq meaning the east. So al-mashriqani meaning two.
Okay. Right. Two. So this meaning two, dual, right?
Yeah.
Two, not plural, 3, 4, 5, okay, but dual 2, okay? And then we have the other part of the sentence. We have what?
Wa rabbu. Wa is by itself is a harf, is a particle, is not connected with a rabbu. Rabbu
That's
is
right.
a word by itself. So wa is considered by itself a harf. Then rabbu is the same like the first one, singular, and it is a noun. And in the case of rafa,
That's right, in the case of Rafa.
Yeah.
It's in the case of Rafa, once again, because just like the first one, we
Yeah.
got the same thing, Lord. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, then we have the other part of it, last part of the sentence here too.
yeah, which is al-maghribayni, and it is dual, is not singular, and it is ended with Y and Nun.
Right?
And if it is singular, it should be al-maghrib,
That's right.
okay? And al-maghrib, I guess it means the sunset, where the sun sets at,
Right.
al-maghribayn.
Uh-huh.
So it is dual, and it is noun, and it is ending is Y and Nun.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so, but do everybody else see what the brother just said? Okay, because it's important, because when we read in the Quran, we want to be able to pick these things out, because we want to know what Allah is conveying, is saying to us. So it's very important to know whether something is in the singular form, dual, or plurality, and whatever, okay? Now, also, if we look at this sentence right here, we call, in Arabic, we have two types of sentences, right? What are the name of those two types of sentences? Verbal. And what is the other one? Nominal.
Number.
Nominal, okay? Nominal or nominative, if you want to say nominal, okay? So this sentence here would be what type of sentence here? Nominative. Because a verbal sentence start out with what? A verb. Verb.
Yes.
Okay, right? So this is a nominative sentence right here. Okay, now, the single word right here, we have two of them up here. We have Maghrib right here, okay? All right? But I want to point this one out right here, okay? Then as a single, okay? What gender would this be? What gender? Female, okay? We also know that this is what? Dual. The brother just told us, okay? And what state? Is it indefinite or definite?
It is definite because it has alif wa lam.
That's right. See, we have to know this, right? Because it have al. We have al here, and we have al also on the second word. So then it would be definite. Okay? All right. Now, what Irab is its state is in? Is it in what? Got two of them here. It either could be in nafs or jar. Look at the endings.
Yeah, it is in jar.
Jar.
Yeah.
Why, brother? Because of the endings. Right here.
Yeah.
Because of the endings. Right?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if we put all these sentences together, how do we translate this sentence? What did this sentence say?
Lord of the East and West.
Let's go in order. You're right, but the Lord of the two east
and
and the two west.
yeah.
And the two west.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But I guess al-mashriqani meaning not the just the east. I believe al-mashriqani talking about the sun rising from the east.
East, right.
So and al-maghribani is the sun
Right. Sitting in the west.
setting in the west.
Right.
So this ayah by itself is a miracle. You know, I guess
Right.
we didn't find out exactly what is the meaning of two east and two west. I don't know.
Okay, I can tell you then.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what it is. Okay, right, like the brother said, this is a miracle. Right. This is a really a scientific statement, really. And why is it a scientific statement? Because look, we look at the earth as having one north, one south, one east, and one west, right?
Yes.
Somebody said, go to the east, go to the west. We just point to the east, point to the west. But Allah said here, He is the Lord of the two east and the two west. And somebody said, how could there be two east? How could there be two west? Okay, so the significance of this is that these are the two extremes. Listen to what I'm saying. This is the two extremes where the sun sets in the wintertime and where it rises in the east. The two extremes. So it don't. If you look at the earth, you know. Okay, we said over here. Let's say this is the east and this is the west. Let's say if the sun rises, and we know the sun is much bigger than the earth right here. Okay, so it might rise over here in the east during the summertime. And in the wintertime, it might rise here. Same thing when it sets. So these are the two extremes. It's not in the same position. So this is why the Quran said the two east and the two west. And the scientists have found this out, that the sun rises two different places in the east, sets in two different places in the west, which signifies what we call the summer or the solstice. You know, these are the two extremes. See? So this is very important. So a lot of people say, well, what does it mean? So that's what it means. Because look what the statement said. Two east and two west. And if we first heard this, when I first read it too, I said, what is it? Two east, two west, okay? But then I thought about it, I said, oh, the two extremes, okay?
That's what the scholar said, and that's what it is your opinion.
This is what scientists said. This is what I'm just basing this on science. I know this from science.
Yeah.
That science said that this represents the two extremes where the sun rises in the east during the summertime and the two extremes where it sits in the wintertime. See? So this is not what the scholars are saying. This is what the
that's what
scientists are saying. Scholars don't know this sometimes.
Okay,
They
well-
didn't know.
we wanna even it can be a scientist, scholars too. So
Yes,
we can.
that's true,
We
that's
need
true.
we need to find out about that.
Yes, yes. Well, I know about it. What I'm saying now.
Yeah, we want to dig it out.
Okay.
Dig it up more and see what's going on.
I can give you some more information on it. But I know science proved this.
Inshallah.
Yes, yes, the two extreme. What we have, let me say this one more time, the winter solstice and the summer solstice. You know, like for example, March the 21st is what? The first day of spring, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if you look at where the sun is rising and setting now, watch it on March the 21st. You're gonna see it's a little different than shift over. So they know this because we have implementations and things of that nature to find out.
But you can't see that with the naked eye, can you?
Yes, you can.
So on March 21st, we're gonna see that it come up a different area?
Yeah, when you look, if you up early enough, you see where the sun come up. It's coming up in the east, but it's gonna be a different position in the east. Okay, like you got two extremes. Like okay, this is why we said I'm going east, but I'm going like southeast, northeast, things like that. You heard those terms, right? Go east, brother, or go west. Well, I'm northwest. This is why some streets in the cities, like in Washington D.C., everything is laid out in a square grid, and you got like northeast, so and so and so, southeast, Peachtree Street in Atlanta. You got a north Peachtree Street and you got an east. See what I'm saying? But the street is still a long street. So these are the two extremes.
And maybe that's just brought something to my mind right now. Maybe that's give a proof that the earth is not straight like people used to know a long time ago.
Yes.
And when they start telling, hey, the earth is just a sphere, it's a big huge sphere.
Right.
They will believe that, and that was proved today because if it was like the earth was like flat, that they was suggesting. So say Rabbul Mashriqain, Rabbul Maghribain, that's given, what he's saying depend on that the earth is sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So, you use what is known right now is the earth is a sphere, and, you try to explain the ayah according to that.
Right.
Which is the ayah was already revealed before we know the earth was a sphere. So this was given a proof that in this time, if somebody think about it, this is telling you that the earth is a sphere. According to whatever you said right now.
Right. We know the earth is a sphere. Like his brother said, it used to be considered square. If the earth was square, we wouldn't be able to determine when the sun come up and the sun set and all these things like that because of the way the earth would be if it was shaped in a cube or a square. So
Well,
that
March
showed you a
21st,
lot.
I can tell.
So
I'm
what
gonna put it
now?
in my calendar, I wanna look.
What verse is it? Go to
No, I
chapter.
wanna look, you said March 21st?
March 21st.
Okay.
Right. What they call that's when that signified the first day of spring. This is why, look at this. And reading, I know what I'm talking about. Because what? We jump, the days are getting longer. See? The days are getting longer. The days get shorter what? During the winter time.
Yeah, I'm not doubting you. I just wanna know if I can see it with my naked eye.
You see the sun now with your naked eye?
I know, but if I'm gonna be able to tell, it was over here today.
But then you need to pay attention in the morning then where it comes up, so you get that fixed in your mind. And then on the 21st, you see where it come up again, a different place. Right? Now, this is in chapter 55, verse 17. So let us turn to that right quick, and then we'll get on to the other part of the lesson here. 55, 17. This is a very important chapter because this is Surah what?
Surah Al-Rahman.
Right. 55, 17. See what it says, how the author translated it. Okay? 55, 17. You got it. You ready, got it?
It said,
What yours at, brother?
Lord of the two east, Lord of the two west.
Lord of the two east and the two west. So the east come first because we have east up here first. Okay? And look at this, the two east. Here's the D right here, the L. See? So this means that this noun here is definite. Right? Okay? Okay, Lord of the two east and the two west. Teach what yours says. Same thing?
The rob of the two east, the two extreme points in the eastern horizon where
Ah,
the sun
there it
rises
is right
throughout
there.
the year, and the two west.
I didn't know that
the
had it.
points in the western horizon where the sun sets throughout the year.
See? Now read that again so the brother can hear it too.
Okay. The rob of the two east, the two extreme points in the eastern horizon where the sun rises throughout the year, and the two west, the two extreme points in the western horizon where the sun
Alhamdulillah.
sets throughout
Right.
the year.
I didn't know that was in that Quran there. Okay? Right.
Which copy is this? Which copy is it?
Let me
Who
see.
is the translator? Who is the translator? Is
He goes.
Mufti who? Afzal
Hussein.
Hussein Elias.
What that brother has done, I guess he added the footnotes. If you go
Yeah, in the red.
Yeah.
In the red.
This is not Yusuf Ali, right?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, Lorraine, what did your Quran say? You got a different one.
Mine says, Lord of the two east and Lord of the two west.
Lord of the two east and the Lord of the two west. Right. Now, another important word in this particular chapter here, which comes up every time during the month of Ramadan, when we are trying to determine, when does Ramadan start, when we be, is look at verse number 5. Verse number 5.
In 55?
In 55. Someone read that in English or however you want to read it, in Arabic, whichever, brother.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الشمس والقمر بحسبان.
All right.
This is verse number 5.
Number 5. What word I want to point out there is bihusban. Bihusban.
Calculate.
Now see, the B-I mean with. Husban mean calculation. With calculation, see? Now some Quran probably said with a fixed time. Fixed, you the word fixed. But if you go to the Arabic dictionary, husban, because a person that is an accountant is what? What's the name of the person who's an accountant?
محاسب.
Say it again.
محاسب.
Muhasib, right. And then Allah tells us to have muhasaba, to be conscious of the time. So to estimate, that's what I mean, to
Yeah.
estimate the time, right?
To calculate. حساب.
That's right, to
Calculation.
calculate.
Yes.
Okay, brother, you made me hear that? So bihusban mean is to calculate. So this is why calculation can be used for Ramadan, because Allah said it right there. He said with calculation. See? And we have proved now that calculation is more accurate than just physical sighting.
Well,
And
how come
nothing
every
wrong.
year it's always a problem then?
This is just that. But see, because we read the Quran a lot of times, but we have to look at the Arabia. And Allah said that we can calculate, because He has given us that information. He has given us that knowledge. That knowledge. Just like we're talking about the two extremes. See, by people studying these things, and we come up with this information, so we say now we can calculate. Therefore, right now, they done already calculate Ramadan all the way out to the year 30,000 or something. Because they know exactly where it's going to, where the sun, when the new moon is born, or rather, and all of that, when it goes away. And I might also point out this here, not only is it so accurate, but that we can do this on the earth, but we done it for other planets. Jupiter got 60-some moons, 60. Saturn has 30-some moons. And for each one of those moons, when it goes around that particular planet, scientists now know exactly where that one is. Like you got it, like right here, this is the planet, so they know when it's there. They know when it's there. They know when it's there. Because what? They have calculated, and not only that, they look with telescopes and they see it, and they have done this thing, so they know. This is why you can look at some of the astronomy magazines, and it would have in there for Jupiter moons where they all want to be at certain times of day. See? So here on the earth, we know here on the earth, if we can calculate for other planets, we can calculate for right here on the earth. And it is precise, because the Quran said with calculation. Because He's giving us that information, He's giving us that knowledge, okay, to do that. Okay? So there shouldn't be all of this confusion, but we
It
can.
always is.
I know it always is, but there's nothing wrong with going out and physically sighting it, but to be more accurate when people be bickering with one another, well, where that? Then you say, hey, brother, here it is, right here, case closed. Case closed. Okay? All right. So I wanted to point this sentence out right here, because there it is with calculation. It talks about two phenomena, the two extremes where the earth rises, where the sun rises and sets, okay, during the extreme, the solstice, okay? All right, and then we pointed out the single word right here is maghrib, okay, which means west. This is the word that means west. Not only that, and the brother probably back me up here, it means west, but it also means dark, black. It means pitch black, really, like a raven black, like a bird, like that shirt, sweater, whatever, scarf right there. It means to be black. So this is another thing we have in a lot of time in doing breaking of the fast is when did the sun set? By people want to say, well, when the scientists said when the sun actually done set is so many degrees when the sun have gone down. It's not, it's light has disappeared. So this means to be black, raven black. So that really, when the official, there are some communities here in the United States, when the sun go down beyond the horizon, they don't break the fast. They wait till it, like let's say this is the horizon, this is the earth right here. That means then the sun have gone down right here, not right here, which is getting dark somewhat, but actually it's still got a lot of light. This is what they call that little reddish color as it's going down. So it has to be 19 degrees astronomically, and then they said, this is my grave time. There's several communities here.
You make me think about something now. Whenever we have
I'm glad I do.
yeah, you know that in the earth we have a northern part and we have a southern part.
Yes.
So whatever we have over here, summer we have in the other part of the earth is a winter. And whenever we have a sunset over here, they have a sunrise over there.
Yes.
So actually, this is what that might be means, because it will be sunset over here, but it will be in the other part of the world. It will be a sunrise. And it will be sunrise over here,
Yes.
and it's going to be in the same moment in the other side of the world. It's going to sunset.
Yes.
So actually, what we consider over here might be west for them, and what we consider over here west is going to be east for them. And sometimes that's why they are Mashriqain
Yes.
and Maghribain. Subhanallah, maybe
Yes.
that's what we mean too.
Look at this.
Because you know, like in Australia and New Zealand and all this other part of the world,
Right.
yeah,
See, so when we think about north and south, north is not straight up.
yeah,
The earth is 23 degrees, you know, north and south.
okay,
So this is what determines whether we have night and day also. That means that the earth was square like that, we would be able to tell when the sun rises and all that stuff. It'd be all confusion and stuff like that. But this is going to show you Allah knew what he was doing, you know, when he created the heavens and the earth, is that he orientated the earth, the axle. If you got a line coming from it, it goes like that, straight north and south. It doesn't go straight up like that. So from here to here is 23 degrees, as I wrote over here. Okay, so this means then, this is why we have the changing of the day, the 24 hours in a day. There are some planets, because it take them longer to go around the sun, to spin around on their axis, this axis right here, that means the day could be shorter. The day could be long, like Mercury. You know, it's so close to the sun, so its day is shorter. Jupiter, days are long. Mars, the days are longer because of their distance from the sun. See? So this is why we have this, is because of the orientation of the earth. Now, right now, this angle here points up to a star in the heavens, what they call Polaris. This is the star, they call this the North Star. This is what they use when the people on the ships, you know, they get lost out there, they guide themselves by the North Star. They thought, where's that North Star? There it is right there. So now they can guide themselves, they know where they're going by, just by the North Star, because this axle right here points up to that North Star. But Allah said that's going to change one day, so we're going to find another star to point to. But right now, for so many centuries and so many millions of years, it's point to this particular star up there. This is why the Arabs came up with what they call a sextant. You know, this is something so they can navigate by that. All this stuff, what I was talking about degrees and the north and the south and the summer and the winter solstice, this is what they use. They'll use this sextant, you know, which is the thing they can use to pinpoint where they at and guide themselves. Even if they don't see nothing else, they just use this night star. So this is why you got astronomical time when the sun set, you got what they call civil time, and you have what they call nautical time. See, all of these are different times when that sun go down below the horizon. See? So this is why we said all of this has been calculated. And they use it now, we got computers, and so you just plug the coordinates in, bingo, there it is. That's why now we know when the sun set here.
gonna rise somewhere else.
That's right.
So this is a Mashriq here and Mashriq over there. Then the Maghrib over here and Maghrib over there.
Right, right.
Allah, so that's Mashriqan and Maghrib. And nobody was knowing this, and this is one of the miracles of the Quran.
One of the miracles
in
of the
this time,
Quran.
1400 years ago.
Right.
There was nobody know that.
Right. Because, brother, you got the sun over here, and you got this earth spinning around. So as it spins around 24 hours, the sunlight, when it hit, is daylight in some areas of the earth and dark on the other side of the earth. By the time you get around back to you again, it's only 24 hours. And Allah tells us, He said, be conscious of the time. Always be conscious of the time. Muhasabah. You know, to estimate, to do these things. Like we should always estimate from 1 year to the next, so we be prepared for the next year.
Yeah, بالحسبان.
Right. Okay. So I thought I'd point that out, you know, with this particular verse 55:17. Very good verse. It makes us, and this, a lot of this is full, is all throughout the Quran. One of the miracles, it talks about these scientific principles that we don't know about until we actually study these things. For example, and then I will move on. I forgot what chapter it is. When I think I brought this up before, where they really thought our prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, they thought he was a crazy man. Why they thought he was a crazy man? Because of things like sentences like this. They said, what you mean 2 east and 2 west? When we know they ain't not, but when the prophet was reciting the Quran, he said that Allah told him, said, you see the mountains and you think that they are standing firm and still, but they are actually moving, and they are.
Yes.
They moving because the whole earth is moving. So when the common man hear him saying things like this, you a crazy man. We see that. I'm looking at this mountain, physical mountain right there, and it's standing still. But we're moving right now, like 66,000 miles, not spinning around right now, but we can't feel it. But we're actually turning and spinning right now. Whereas a long time ago, they used to think that the earth was the center of the universe. They thought everything revolved around the earth. It appears that because we see the sun coming up, we see the moon doing his thing and all this stuff like that. But actually, we and the earth and the moon is revolving around the sun along with these other planets.
Yeah, the verse he was talking about, وَتَرَى الْجِبَالَ تَحْسَبُهَا جَامِدَةٌ وَهِيَ تَمُرُّ مَرَّ السَّحَابِ. When you look at the mountains, you think they are still over there. They are still, no. They are being moving, looks like exactly the clouds.
Right.
They're moving the same way the clouds moving.
Exactly.
Which is they are moved with the earth.
Yes.
Yeah, وَتَرَى الْجِبَالَ تَحْسَبُهَا جَامِدَةٌ وَهِيَ تَمُرُّ مَرَّ السَّحَابِ.
Right.
Yeah, this is a miracle too.
Miracle. That's right. That's right. See, we are on the earth. We are moving. The moon is moving right along with us because of the gravitational pull on us. And we're moving around the sun. The sun and all the planets is moving around the galaxy. See? And we are moving in a what? Counterclockwise direction. Same thing when we make the tawaf, when you make the hajj, it's in a counterclockwise. See, Allah know what He was doing. Everything in the universe revolves in a counterclockwise position, except always got to be an exception, except for one moon. That is a moon on the planet Pluto. Okay, it revolved in another direction. Now that's something we're trying to figure out now. Why did? But what it was that the moon that it had was captured. See, and when it was moving, it was going in another direction. But it's almost big as Pluto, so therefore it pulled on Pluto too. So it was able to escape and continue to go in the other opposite direction. But everything else, not only does the galaxy goes in a counterclockwise, but our galaxy revolves around the whole universe in a counterclockwise direction. Okay?
Subhanallah.
So what, bro?
Pluto is not a planet.
Yeah, that's what they say now.
What did it say now?
They're teaching them that Pluto is not a planet.
I know that they said it's not a planet, but now they're trying to say bring it back as a planet. That's true, brother's true. They want to say Pluto is not a planet because it was so small. But
So
according
what
to
it is?
scientists,
No.
What it is?
Dwarf planet.
it's a
Yeah,
dwarf planet.
That's what they're telling me.
That's what they call it, a dwarf planet. And they still have to give it a name of planet because what? It has satellite moons going around it. So that's scientists not saying why we should not call it a planet, why we should call it a planet is because it has other satellite, which is a moon, revolving around it. So they're going back and saying it's a planet. It's a planet.
So what's the significance of counterclockwise? Nothing. That's just what we've proven it does.
Yeah, the significance is that is the creation that everything revolves in the counterclockwise. Allah,
You talk blood and stuff too, right?
yes,
Okay.
even the heart.
Right, yeah.
The heart, the blood in the body circulating in a counterclockwise direction.
Right.
So Allah has put that as being a law. so to speak.
Yeah, I never pay attention to this, but there was supposed to be a reason for that, subhanAllah.
Yes, that's the reason, because Allah ordained it so. Now, he could have made it go clockwise, but for whatever reason, he said in a clockwise direction. You try to figure that.
No, I was saying, that's right, I'm going from what I remember.
Right, right,
That's right, it don't go like that.
right. Okay. All right. All right. Let's talk about some pronouns here. We talked about the noun already. Okay. We talked about the noun already, so we want to talk about when we were talking about.